Hello and welcome to Old, New, and Now, playing your time machine through the world of movies. I'm your host, Will Robinson Smith. So good to be talking film with you once again, and clearly 2019 is the year of Disney, just ignoring all the stuff with the theme parks and everything else that's non-film for just a second. You know, you've got the Fox merger that closed earlier this year, you've got Disney Plus coming down the pipe, Star Wars Episode 9, all the stuff with Marvel, and you know, everything that's coming out under the Disney umbrella itself, Frozen 2, looking at you in November. I believe it's November. But all that, put that to the side, because there are 3 live action remakes coming down the pike for Disney. We're going to be talking about the first one today. That little elephant that flew took to the imaginations of generations of moviegoers starting in the 40s. This is your feature presentation. Dumbo is based on the 1941 film of the same name. It was just the 4th animated movie for the Walt Disney Company, and it featured the voice talent of Sterling Holloway, who would go on to voice other characters for Disney like Winnie the Pooh and the Cheshire Cat in the Alice in Wonderland movie. This 2019 remake is directed by Tim Burton and stars several actors from his previous films, including Alan Arkin, Ava Green, and it reunites Michael Keaton and Danny DeVito. And let's just stop for a second and appreciate the fact that we get Batman and the Penguin back together under the direction of Tim Burton. Man, what a time to be alive. Anyway, this reimagining of the Dumbo story certainly had to be more fleshed out than its 40s predecessor, and that's partly because the 1941 film only had a runtime of 64 minutes. One of the ways that Disney was able to take a movie that was just over an hour and extend it to being almost 2 hours was by adding some characters around Dumbo and really fleshing out that world. That group of humans is led by Colin Farrell, who plays Holt Ferrier. He's the father to a young boy and girl played by Finney Hobbins and Nico Parker respectively. And is it just me, or is Disney starting to typecast Colin Farrell as the father who is fighting his personal demons while raising kids in the early 19th century? Maybe? Anyway, after returning from fighting in the Great War, Holt is missing an arm and is returning to a circus on the decline, so instead of being the rodeo star he was, he now has to tend to the elephants. And that's one of the things I thought the movie actually did really well, because there were some racist elements in the 40s version and some things that really just aren't appropriate for kids that I thought the movie did a nice job of reinterpreting those and making them more palatable and, you know, not racist. For example, in the original movie, the elephants are looked over by the roustabouts, who also put up the circus when it travels. They're nameless, faceless black men who sing about their work. Here, Danny DeVito briefly references that the roustabouts left because of budget cuts. It's a quick line that you may miss, comes early on in the movie, but for those familiar with the 1941 film, it's a nice acknowledgement of what that was, and then we move on. And there are a few more moments like this throughout the movie, but I'm not going to spoil them for you, but let's just suffice to say there's a certain character named Jim that's not in this movie. Despite the fact that I was not a big fan of either of the Tim Burton directed Alice movies, I thought he was actually a really good choice for this movie. The scenic design of the movie was really fun to watch. Rich Heinrichs was brought on as the production designer, and he and Burton have worked together on a number of films, including Sleepy Hollow, Frankenweenie, and Big Eyes. Another choice the movie makes that I personally liked that maybe you or someone you know didn't particularly get jazzed about is the fact that this movie, unlike some other Disney properties, it isn't really fantastical. And yes, I know it's a movie about a flying elephant, but if you think about it, that's really the only extraordinary element to this movie. While other aspects of the movie certainly are more stylized, like Casey Jr. for example, there's nothing else here that's really magical, so to speak. So instead of feeling fantastical in the way some of the other Disney movies are, this one felt more grounded with just a touch of magic realism. Instead of having the animals talk to Dumbo and his mother, these voices are given to humans. All that being said though, this is not going to go down as one of my favorite live action remakes of an animated Disney movie. While I thought that Ava Green was fine in the movie with what she had to work with, I felt like they just didn't give her a whole lot to do. Also, the child actors here certainly didn't detract from the movie, but to me they didn't feel super dynamic either, like, say, the kids from It, for example. Overall though, I did enjoy the movie. I certainly cared about what happened with Dumbo. I liked the way he was animated, Colin Farrell gave a solid performance, and I really enjoyed the Danny Elfman score. So I would say, careful, Icarus. Don't go in expecting the quality of, say, The Jungle Book, and I think you'll enjoy this latest Disney offering. So those are my thoughts on Dumbo. When you've had a chance to see it, I want to know what you thought about the movie, so jump in the comments section below, voice off your opinions on it, and what's a Disney movie and one of their animated movies that you'd like to see interpreted into live action that they haven't already greenlit? So things that are not Lion King, Mulan, Aladdin, the ones we already know about. For me, I'm gonna say, give it 10, 15 years. I think they could do something cool with Atlantis. Well, that'll do it for me. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a thumbs up. That would be great. And click that old subscribe button right down there to keep up with content coming out on this channel. If you want to see something right now, you just can't wait, we've got some lovely content over here for your viewing pleasure. So enjoy the rest of your day, whether it's here, there, or wherever. Be good to yourself, be good to others, and as always, I will see you next time.